hotel any second.
Now, are you considered a impersonator or a tribute artist?
Well, here's the thing. I'm both. I mean, because every impersonator is a tribute artist, but every tribute artist is not necessarily an impersonator. Obviously, the difference is an impersonator is someone it's a prerequisite. They're supposed to look like their character, and sound like their character. So that's the difference.
Right. So it's great that I have Las Vegas Larry.
And Larry.
I'm a lookalike.
Got Larry, lookalikes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an impersonator lookalike. I can't help it, but yeah, it's different. I mean, I sing too, but I sound nothing like them when I sing. But I think he can actually sing.
Now you're not one of those crazy guys that think you are Neil Diamond.
Absolutely not.
Have you ever told anybody?
I've got my own personality. You're going to find that out in the next few minutes.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you've never told any hot chick that you're Neil when she comes, oh my God, you're Neil Diamond. Yeah, maybe I am.
Maybe once. Maybe.
We've all done it. Until I get to
if they believe that I go along with that.
Well, yeah. My crowd is pretty easy because they're usually drinking and all, so they believe what they want to, and I tell them I'm not him, and they still don't believe it, but
He still sounds good after all these years. That new album's coming out.
Hey, he's got a new one.
Yeah, he's just cranking them out.
Big money.
Big money, yeah, he's definitely worth it.
He's the man. As long as he keeps going, I can keep going.
Right, yeah. Well, even afterwards.
Even afterwards, you're right. Still have a career. You're becoming more in demand.
It helps to be a little younger than you're actually.
It helps a lot because
you don't want a side-by-side funeral. Which one's the real one? It don't matter.
I think the public conception of Neil Diamond is probably more my look these days than it is his look, because he doesn't look like the Neil Diamond we grew up with.
Right. If the Neil Diamond thing don't work out, I mean, I can see a little bit of the Burt Reynolds thing going on.
Okay. I like that too.
Yeah, well, you almost got the same shirt on in that picture.
Oh, I was looking at it. The smoke. I got the smoky.
That's what gave it to me.
The smoky shirt.
If we got him a mustache and a hat, we'd have him.
And the chest hair.
Well, we can glue some on.
So how long have you been Neil Diamond?
I've been, quote, Neil Diamond for 19 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 19 years.
Not here in town, though.
I've been living in town for 40 years.
Wow.
So in town, yeah. But, I mean, I've traveled up until this. This is the first time I've had my first ongoing show. But I've
been in like Legends and things like that?
Legends, but as far as the last 4 years, I've been on rotation at Cannery, South Point, and the stations. But that's a rotation thing. You'd go there once or twice a year, and I'd play across the country. But this is the first time I've had an ongoing show.
What did you do before you decided you could do Neil?
Before Neil, because I've been living here a long time. I had my own band for 15 years, from 1980 to 95. Where started in bars like everybody else, and migrated to clubs and lounges and occasionally a showroom. That band was called Rock and Roll Heaven. I mean, we were a cover band, which you have to be in this town to make a living, and we were an oldies and classic rock band. Hence, I have a lot of the same loves you have as far as music.
Right.
Yeah, and I did get to see Led Zeppelin when I was a young boy.
Where'd you see him?
Yeah, I saw him at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York, in 1973, right at the height of Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, that was just coming out. Yeah,
it was, and they did it, and I was like in awe of them, like everybody else, and I was a huge Beatle fan, but I was more drawn to the single performers, the cool guys like Elvis, and the Beatles made me want to be a musician, but people like Elvis and Neil, they made me want to become a performer and a singer.
Now, when did you discover the whole Neil Diamond thing? Was it like one night you was at the club and the girl was drunk and she's like, you look like Neil Diamond and kind of sound like him?
The funny thing is that back when I had my band, because that's when it all happened, I didn't think I looked like Neil Diamond. If you saw pictures of me back when I was with my band, you probably wouldn't think I looked like Neil Diamond.
You had the long hair.
I could sound like him. Yeah. I could sound like him, and I did a lot of his stuff in my band because he's always been one of my musical idols, and I used to hear on a consistent basis, oh man, when you do Neil Diamond stuff, when you sing it, you sound just like him. You need to go audition for that Legends in Concert show, and I heard that for many, many years. And after 15 years of having the band, I said, all right, I'm going to try this impersonator thing. And
so you threw on a sparkly shirt with wussy strings and grabbed a guitar.
I did. I bought a sparkly shirt. At the time, I had a different hairdo, even though this is all mine now. But back then, it was, I bought a wig at the time, and I filled in the eyebrows, and I go, oh wow, I think I can do this, you know.
Right.
And I auditioned for Legends. I wanted the job here because this was my home, and my daughter. I had a little daughter, but someone had seniority over. We're talking about 1994, 1995 now. Someone had seniority over me, and I said, all right. And then I sent my videotape to a friend of mine who did Elvis in the Hawaii Legends show, and he took it to his boss, who happened to be a gentleman that was one of my mentors, and he just passed away, Paul Revere of the radio.
Oh, yeah, right.
He was
Right.
he ended up, and he called me up like 9 months later, and he said, Rob, I'm coming to Vegas with the Raiders, and I saw your videotape, and we like it, and I want to audition you one-on-one, you know, and he did. He came out here in 1995, auditioned me one-on-one, and he sat there and he looked at me and he goes, so you want to come to Hawaii for a few months? And I don't have to tell you what the answer to that was.
Heck no, who wants to do that?
Yeah.
I was
Who wants
supposed
to go to Hawaii?
I was supposed to go for 3 months. I was there for 3 years with the show.
Wow.
Wow.
That was the start.
Now, have you ever traveled to like Canada? Because they got big Neil Diamond
I have.
out there. Yeah.
All over Canada.
Yes.
I mean, I shouldn't say all over both coasts. Toronto, Vancouver.
Did you go to Quebec?
I haven't never been to
Don't
Quebec.
go to
yet.
Quebec.
Okay.
They hate us there. They speak English, but they refuse to do it.
Like in French, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they speak French in there, and it doesn't matter. They learn English in high school, but they will not speak it.
They hate us, but they
Yes.
love Neil.
Yes, and they love our money.
So you get away.
They'll probably speak to you.
They love Neil.
Me, they throw me
I
out.
hate rednecks. So.
Yes. Go home, Yankee. I'm a Southerner.
But Neil, you can stay. Neil's okay.
So have you always been a performer, or did you have a real job before you became?
Like everybody else, I had real kid jobs. I mean, delivering papers, delivering pizza, and
Fast
so forth. Fast food, and so forth. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What's your favorite missed lyric from a Neil Diamond song?
Miss Lear, I know what you're gonna. There's a ton of those, right?
Yeah, what's your favorite one?
Reverend in blue jeans.
Yeah.
Reverend in blue jeans.
I
That's
always
what-
thought that was what he was saying when I was a
Right,
kid.
right,
Yeah, my
right.
mom was a big Neil Diamond fan, so
Reverend, which is supposed to be forever.
forever in blue jeans. Yeah, I was like, why is that Reverend wearing blue jeans?
Yes,
Is that yours as well?
That's, yeah, that's, yeah, that one's,
because he's a swinger.
Reverend in blue jeans.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah,
There's quite a few of them.
there are a few of them.
What's your all-time favorite Neil Diamond song?
No doubt about it. For me, it's always been, and I even say this from the stage, it's been I Am I Said.
That's my dad's favorite song.
Yeah, and it's a heartfelt song for me because, like Neil, I was born. It's his autobiographical song. Like him, I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and moved as a young man from the East Coast to the West Coast, and kind of got lost a little bit between two shores, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and so it hit home for me. Everybody has a Neil Diamond song that hits home for even if they don't want to confess to it. Everybody
Yeah.
has a favorite Neil Diamond song. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
you want to hear mine?
I do.
Because I'm pretty sure you don't play this one in your show.
Don't be surprised.
Okay.
Let me hear.
If you do this one in your show, because I didn't hear you do it the other night.
Well,
So
I'm under a 70-minute limit there. But when I do the big, like the cannery or so forth, I go.
all right, this is one of my faves.
Go ahead. No, you're right.
Porcupine pie, porcupine pie, porcupine pie.